A very good morning to you. Thank you so very much for staying with us here on Global Television. I'm Uyag Mofwegbe, and always with a delight, I welcome you on behalf of our team here at Global Television's world headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to Global Morning. My colleague Priscilla Obasi has brought the sparkle to the show this morning. She does that every other Monday and Tuesday, by the way. So for the next 3 days of the week, she will jump off and return next week, Monday. Priscilla, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good morning. And good morning to our viewers. So today is Tuesday.
Right, it is.
Yeah, we're trying to unwind from... unwind?
Is it not ready to unwind?
I just thought about it. Why? I mean, it's Tuesday, and somehow you still get the energy, or you still have the energy of Monday, because it's quite fresh.
Right.
Yeah. So, expecting or anticipating a beautiful day. I don't know about you.
Yeah, of course, we should all be optimistic and upbeat. You know, speaking of Mondays, even though, of course, today is Tuesday, I used to listen to radio, this particular radio station, 2008, 2009. So a lady would host a breakfast show where she had a segment called Why I Hate My Mondays.
Okay.
Right, so people will call in and text in and say things about the reason they don't like their Mondays. They want to sleep in on Monday mornings.
Yeah.
They are not liking their bosses and their supervisors because of the tasks and assignments and projects. And I mean, you just have to come tell us what you did the previous week. Let's see how much we have progressed. So the pressure that comes with Monday, for many people, it's can be overwhelming and things like that. But what can we do? Life, business-wise, work-wise, begins on a Monday.
So in the East, they used to have a sit-at-home. Was it usually Mondays, right?
In the Southeast.
In the Southeast, yeah, Mondays. So if she stayed in a place like Imo State,
that would have been a blessing.
That would have been the best for her. But we hear that it's almost over because the governor has threatened.
That's Anambra State governor.
Anambra State governor. He asked the people to go back to the markets to open their shades, and then we
their shades.
Their shades. According to
I remember
who
that.
it's called in the East, and then we had Nnamdi Kanu come also, reiterate that. So I don't know if things have actually normalized, because I know the Igbo people to be I don't want to call them stubborn, but hearing from the leader, which is Nnamdi Kanu, I really do not know how things have normalized. If people have started going back to their workplaces on Mondays, schools are beginning to reopen, I really need to catch up on that. But so far, I think the people are still trying to, get into the whole groove of
learn the new way of life, right?
The new way of life, actually.
For a region that has been observing the so-called sit-at-home every other Monday for, I think this is the 5th year.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Let's not even go into the very gory details of the lives that have been lost. No thanks to the so-called unknown gunmen. Some people say they are ungun men. Yeah, but whatever it is, we've got to do the right thing. This one of the most resourceful and industrious regions in our country, and indeed in Africa. And as such, you just can't let it slide into this sort of anarchy in the name of sit at home. To what end? I mean, the day a colleague of ours got stuck in Aba, just because he couldn't get to Owerri to fly out to Abuja, it got dawned on me that this madness must come to an end. That was sometime last year, and it's relieving, it's soothing to know that governors like Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo are taking the lead in this regard. Because before now, I asked myself, is it impossible for all 5 governors in that region, from Ebonyi to Anambra, to come together and say, look, we've got to put our foot down and end these once and for all? And hopefully that's what we're seeing beginning to play out at this point in time.
Actually, kudos to Professor Charles Soludo on that. And also to add, I don't know how the reactions have been considering the elections that took place on Saturday. I hear that Dr. Moses, like Dr. Mo,
Dr. Mo, of the ADC,
of the ADC, is saying we don't agree, and
is he heading to court?
Probably planning a litigation process to follow suit. And this is like a norm that comes out of our elections. After the whole elections proper, you see candidates, disagreeing. The question is, what if you had won?
Even with all of the things you now refer to as anomalies, as electoral malpractices,
would you see them? Would you still see them as election malpractice? At the same time, it's concerning that we do not have elections without litigations.
Right.
Yeah, you just know that
By default.
By default, litigations must follow suit after elections. So I'm wondering, when would we have proper elections in Nigeria, and opposing candidates just accept defeat, just the way Goodluck Jonathan did in 2019.
That example has become a case study of some kind. Even though we know there are Nigerians, including members, very senior members of the PDP, who thought it was a show or a sign of weakness for him to have relinquished power. But the question is, what else could a gentleman, a patriot, someone who had said repeatedly that his ambition was not worth the blood of any Nigerian, to have done under such circumstances? And today, he has become a bright light, not just for Nigerians, but for Africans. And we see how much of impact he's making across the world on account of that, putting Nigeria on the map for all the right reasons. We'll also be talking in the course of the program this morning with someone who has used his music to shine a light, yes, practically and otherwise, all right, into nation building, highlighting issues that affect all of us, whether it's about politics or leadership across board, to share his experiences, his journey, as well as how he has used his art, all right, to reshape thinking in Nigeria over the last 3 decades or so. All of that and more on the program this morning. We'll take a break, and the rest of Global Morning will unfold shortly. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
All right, let's talk about the issue that Priscilla highlighted a while ago, which borders squarely on the election, the area council elections that are held on Saturday, the 21st of February. On the sidelines, we also had rerun elections in Kano. We had as well in Rivers State. We have seen reactions along those lines. Now, one of Nigeria's finest and foremost lawyers, someone who has also been very vocal about issues of national development, Professor Chidi Odekalu, is now saying that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has failed Nigerians, and he particularly is saying that the chairman of the commission, Professor Josh Amopiton, cannot be trusted with 2027 election. Of course, it's natural and quite understandable if somebody says that's the opinion or assessment of, personal assessment of Professor Odekalu. But when you look at the issues that he has highlighted, he has talked about how that INEC has failed. Apparently, that's in reference to what a lot of persons considered failing in the process of this last cycle of elections. And then you're not asking yourself, when we get to 2027, where there's much more work, where the pressure is far more intense, are we not going to be having many more problems than we encountered about 3 days ago?
Actually, well, I want Nigerians to take it easy, right? Yes.
Did you calm down?
Let us calm down. I know that we have high expectations, from Professor Josh Amopiton. But in as much as we have all of that, we should be able to sit back after the elections and reference previous elections. That is the basis at which we should judge. Because when we bring all the expectations, we don't expect this man to be some magician.
Right.
Yeah, he'll do his best at the end of the day, but it's a process, as they keep saying. So our reference should not be what is in our heads, what is in our minds, the perfection we have upstairs. No, the reference should always be from what he met, what he saw, what we saw and compare it to what he has done, and then we'll be able to make a sound judgment.
Right.
We don't get too hard on him, because if any of us were given that opportunity, Nigeria is not a very easy place to lead. It's quite complex, right?
Right.
Considering the fact that you are trying to work with, you know, a sitting president, you're also considering, there's no way you tell me that a Professor Josh does not have friends in other parties.
Right.
There's no way you tell me that he doesn't have family in other parties. So it's quite a complex one. Considering the fact that also Nigerians want some level of fairness. We are hungry for, you know, democracy to be as true as it should be.
Right.
So our expectations are quite high, and it is understandable, because everybody wants to see that change. But we must learn to take it easy, right? We must learn to, you know, cut some slack. I'm not saying we should drop the standards or lower the standards in any way. No, we should have mercy. We should not, we're not expecting, at the same time, we need Professor Josh Amupitan to bring up, of course, his A game, to bring in his A game into this whole thing, to do his best, because posterity will judge him. It's not just about him right now. What legacy would he leave?
Right.
You came out giving all the whole promises, and now we're taking you by your words. You have assured us that this is going to be, you know, one of the best. You have assured us that you are going to give it your best. So we want to be able to hold you for your words. We want to be able to see your words match your actions at the end of the day. So basically, I'm just saying this to every party, the party of the political parties, the common citizens out there, and even, you know, the camp of Josh Amupitan. Let us tamper justice with mercy. At the same time, this whole thing largely depends on the preparations from different parties. You cannot expect a party to prepare more than another party, and now because you want them to win, they do not win, you're now getting angry.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's preparation. If you want an ADC to emerge, you must prepare to win. Somebody came out.
Not to contest.
Yes, not to contest. Someone came out, I think it was Gege, that made this, he made a very strong, do I call it an allegation, or his thoughts were quite strong, though, saying that he doesn't think a Peter Obi can win Tinubu. And his reasons were because he sees Peter Obi playing a defense game. He's not, his utterances does not, you know, he's not daring.
He's not on the offensive politically.
Exactly. He's just trying to defend, okay, nobody will stop me for contesting. It's more about contesting.
So what's the strategy for winning?
Exactly. There's nothing that clearly states, I want to win. It's more of, I would still contest. Do you understand? So
you can't stop me.
You can't stop me from contesting. So we're not. He was just saying we need him to make bolder statements. The way current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out to say, "Emiloko, it's my turn. I must win."
And we saw deliberate action.
Exactly, we saw the deliberate action. Another one came and said, "Okay, in 2023, Nigerians put in their best. They gave Peter Obi the support they wanted to give to him. At the end of the day, when things did not work out, they wanted to protest. Peter Obi said, no, calm down. Do not protest." And he was of the opinion, no, Nigeria is not at that point where you use the whole calm method.
Right.
You have to take it by force in his words. So we don't need the calm approach. You cannot take leadership, or you cannot take over from this current government by being calm, in his own words. So he's saying, okay, we will prefer a Showore. A Showore is someone that will tell us, let's go and protest together when anything does not go wrong, because we have seen him, you know, play such cards where they kind of trust him, right? So it's better they give him that support, because he's the only one that seems to have the courage to take over leadership from a sitting president. So the debate is all there. At the end of the day, what I just want to say is, what preparations are you putting in place as a political party? It's not about emotion. Social media is not is not a voting center. What do we call it?
There's no polling units.
There's no polling units. Yeah, exactly. There's no polling units on social media. At the end of the day, your PVCs is what will speak. How many people have their PVCs online? After all is said and done, that is what will be used to determine the next president, the next governor, the next senator, the next House of Rep member. All of that will be done with your PVC. So as much as people are trying to throw in their support, trying to be vocal about it does not end there. Strategize on how to educate people on social media on how to get their PVCs. If you can create centers to make it even easy for them, try to strategize around it. Locate rural communities. I keep saying it. It's not just about coming to Abuja to the National Assembly to come and protest. One of my guests was here yesterday, and he said instead of that action, trying to come out to the National Assembly to come and protest, why not locate the senators in their different houses?
Right.
Because they are the ones that would come out and pass this bill. They are the ones that will be able to voice out. So locate them.
So take the conversation to them.
Take the conversation to them. Go and write to them. You can carry the whole grievances to the National Assembly, and you give write a petition to the Senate President. At the end of the day, he decides whether to read it or not. But when you have different persons receiving petitions
on the same
issue, somehow it creates a force in the whatever sitting they would have, and somehow it makes the matter weightier. So Nigerians must learn to strategize. Don't keep doing things the old way to receive results, new results.
And they say you can't continue to do the old thing and expect a new result, a different result. I mean, the same thing, different result. It doesn't work. It's basic science of life, really. But there are other concerns about the electoral process in Nigeria, and they have to do with vote buying and violence. And political scientists and thought leaders in this regard believe very strongly that if we can tackle those two monsters, vote buying and violence, as far as the electoral process is concerned, Nigeria will be on what Americans call a highway, all right, freeway, I should say, to be able to strengthen our democracy. Because as it stands today, it's a shame and very embarrassing when people say that what we have is not election, it's selection. And if you have selection, the question is, can we still, in all honesty, call it democracy? Yes, your guess is as good as mine, right? Let's take a break now. It's time to join Ramsey Enoch Agbo as we bring you a bit of inspirational this morning.
So many thanks for joining us once again on Heart to Heart Inspirational. We just want to inspire you, encourage you. And of course, my name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Now, do you know that there is this belief that everyone feels that they are behind? You ask a lot of people, and some people even tell their colleagues, their neighbors, their friends, their family members that they are behind. But let me tell you something right here. I want to start by correcting that lie that many of us have believed for too long. It's been a long time that a lot of people believe this lie. I want to say it is a lie. Okay? It depends on what I want to say now. When someone say, I'm late, I'm late. And a lot of people have crashed out of destiny. A lot of people have mixed it in life because they feel I'm late. Hey, she's married, I'm not married. Oh my God, she's rich, I'm not rich. Oh, she's gotten admission, but look at me right here. But nobody is saying, oh, she's dead. Why am I not dead? Has anybody said that? Nobody is saying, oh, some of my mates are mad. Why am I not mad? They don't tell themselves that they should be mad also because somebody is in their category or at their age level is mad or maybe probably late or dead. Why are you not saying, all right, you should be dead or you should be mad? The same way you're thinking that, oh, you should be rich because the other person is rich and you are of the same age grade or classmate or something or neighbor or whatever. That's the reason I said it's a lie. When you are being forced to believe that you are late. And a lot of people, because they feel they are late now, they do nothing anymore because that is their mindset. Because that's what they believe. But then I should further let you know this. Others ahead of you doesn't mean that you are late because you are also ahead of someone. That's it. But hear me clearly today that you are not behind. All right. We live in a world obsessed with a lot of comparison. Social media shows us edited victories. A lot of victories you see, a lot of successes you see on social media are edited victories. All right. In the real sense of it, you meet some of these people one-on-one, you will be shocked. Hey, come on. Is that the person I see on social media? It is edited victories. All right. There are a lot of people that are living with struggles, but they come on social media and they paint everything like they don't have any issue. You see some families not doing well, some husband and wife not doing well, then you see them on social media, it will appear as if they are the best couple in the world. I'm not saying you should show, all right, the ugly situations you're facing in your family. It's not everything you bring on social media. I'm aware of that. But then you don't need to pattern your life based on what you see on social media. All right. That has made a lot of people get into some acts that they are not supposed to get into. If you see some people's resolution for 2026, you would be shocked. A lot of people want to be successful because they feel they are late. Someone just told me, today that, well, he traveled, and you see a lot of people, just little boys who have involved themselves in one or two things, driving big cars, and people who are doing genuine and legitimate things don't even have that kind of car. That's a wrong comparison, if you ask me, though the person didn't fall for what they were driving. He didn't fall for it. And he was sharing with me today. But we need to know that there are so many things that have happened behind the scene with someone else's highlight reel and conclude would fail. But life is not a race. Life is a journey with different routes, all right, different terrains and different timings. So if it is not your route, if it is not your terrain, if it's not your timing, and you want to force it, you may miss it, you may crash. If you go up too early, you may crash very early. A lot of people have faced that in the past. Some people are blown early and some fade early too, and others are slow-born successes. Some start strong and crash, others struggle quietly and rise suddenly. Timing is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of design. That time you're taking your time, it's as if you are in the workshop. Very soon you come to the showroom and people will be wondering, where has he been? He was in the showroom having wilderness experience, putting himself together, refining himself, designing himself so that he can come out successful. You know, there are times that you need to be alone, sit alone, think positively, and know what to do per time. You don't run after people. People's successes shouldn't derail you, shouldn't make you miss what you are supposed to do. Because as a matter of fact, what looks like delay is often development process. What feels like waiting is often preparation. And you are being equipped emotionally, mentally, and spiritually and strategically for what you are about to handle. So nobody should tell you that you are late, that you're not married yet. Doesn't mean you're not going to get married. That you're not rich yet doesn't mean you're not going to get rich. It's all about times and season, except if you're not positioned well. For every proper positioning, there would always be a proper positioning. If you position well, you possess well. If you arrive early without capacity, without success, you will be destroyed, because you can only, let me tell you something, you can get to the top, but what keeps you at the top is your character. All right, if you don't have character and charisma, one day you would be displaced from the top. So you need to prepare yourself very well for every success that you're thinking of in your heart. If it is in your heart, it will get into your head, and one day it will enter your hand. But if you get it fast without wisdom, you would lose it faster. Okay, let me just give this illustration. Think of an aircraft, for instance, before takeoff. It accelerates on the runway for a very long time before it gets off the track and fly and leave the ground. If it doesn't maintain that timing on the runway for that number of time, it can never accelerate. So that period that you are time is the preparation period for your takeoff. So don't allow anyone discourage you or tell you that you are late, you are behind, or whatever. To the untrained eye, it looks like delay, but without the runway, the plane cannot lift. Some of you are still on the runway, but lift is coming, lift is coming, you will be lifted. So what do you have to do? Okay? Stop comparing yourself. The comparing chapter, you should close it. And stop apologizing for your pace. You don't owe anybody any apology for your pace because it's only you that know what you are cooking. Start now as we speak, trusting your process, because any process you don't trust cannot work for you. Like I tell people, you don't sit under an imam that you don't believe in. You don't sit under a pastor that you don't believe in. All right? Because whatever, if the pastor is pronouncing blessing and you don't believe in that pastor, it is a cause for you. The same thing for the imam too. All right? So whatever process you don't believe in, any system you don't believe in, you don't have any business, all right, staying under that system. Delay, like they say, is not denial. And it is preparation in disguise. So you are not behind and you are not being aligned, and when your time comes, you won't just arrive, but you will be ready. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and remember that you are a success going somewhere to happen. Don't allow anyone talk you down. Don't allow anyone tell you that you are late. Your time is coming, and that's the best time for you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.
All right, thank you for still being here with us. We dive straight to the newspaper review segment, and we're starting with the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, on the Nigerian Tribune, first story above the nameplate, bandits kill 10 in Plateau. A writer to that says, Bauchi villagers flee to Gombe, Adamawa. GOC escapes ambush in Kebbi. Troops kill 5, recover arms. Details on page 25. Not a good way to start the review, but I mean, it is what it is. God continue to help us. Next story. Ndigi Oyegun Owi in power tussle over Edo South ADC leadership. And you want to find details on page 17. Next story, operators of Plateau mining site were released after I left office. Mine also reopened. Fire me, ex-minister of solid minerals, is bringing us this, and you find details on page 3. GenCourt's cry out laments 6.2 trillion naira debt. Details on page 5. We will establish state police, Tinubu reaffirms. Says Nigeria out of woods. And you want to find that detail on page 2. The issue of state police has been ongoing for a while. Somehow it just goes into extinction and it resurfaces again. To the star story now. Lagos airport fire, 6 injured, 14 trapped persons rescued. Infemo started from server room, and that's coming from FAN. Airspace temporarily closed. Airport reopened. You want to find details on page 2. Next story. El-Rufai files $1 billion suit against ICPC. Others alleges unlawful invasion of residence. Details on page 3. Lead exposure. Ogun screens 500 Ogijo residents. Details on page 4. Next story, executive order 9 aligns with constitution, doesn't amend PIA, DG budget office, and you'll find that detail on page 27. Okay, that will be all from the Nigerian Tribune. We go next to the Punch, and Uyi takes us through that.
All right. From the top of it, with a picture of Wale Edo, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, says fresh loans, federal government domestic debt jumps to 77 trillion naira. The writer says 11 states FCT borrow 373 billion naira in 9 months despite higher allocations. Convention, APC may settle for Iwada Bashiru. Then we have a headline, I just saw the nameplates, carrying a picture of President Donald Trump. Alleged genocide, U.S. Congress panel submits Nigeria report to Trump. And then it takes us to the Star headline with a kicker. Oil revenue row, presidency defends Tinubu as legal titans, splits over executive order. Petroleum Industry Act violates Nigerian constitution, says presidency. NBA, OPS back Tinubu as critics push against oil revenue reforms. Senior advocates of Nigeria divided over president's directive. Why are they divided? Well, you can find those details on page 2, and we understand that there's no act or extant law that can be regarded to be above the ground norm, which is the Constitution. So we'll see how this eventually pans out. Lagos International Airport inferno grounds passengers, sparks travel chaos. Generation companies dump presidency's 2.8 trillion naira debt deal. A truck crushes LASTMA officer, 2 motorcyclists to death. Those are details which you on pages 4 and 5. FCT polls ADC candidates obedience rejects results. So what now? Heading to courts, maybe, on page 22 of the Punch newspaper today. Please read up details for yourself. Next port of call will be the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, on the Vanguard newspaper, above the nameplate, first story, foreign portfolio inflow grows 86.5% in January. Why Monday markets are not picking up in Southeast? I think we're talking about that this morning. And that's coming from traders as Soludo shuts Nnewi market for 1 week. Okay, why is it shut?
The same thing that was done to the main markets.
Really? You want to find out the details on page 30.
That's on the Vanguard newspaper.
Vanguard newspaper,
right.
Yeah. Wike cancels 485 Abuja land titles after failed verification. I guess Wike is back to Abuja. He was on a break.
Right. I mean, we need to allow Port Harcourt and River State in general breathe.
And then breathe. Okay. Abuja, back to you. You find a lot of detail on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. El-Rufai files 1 billion naira suit against ICPC others over invasion of residents. Details on page 8. MMIA fire. 14 trapped persons rescued. Building to undergo integrity check. And that's coming from FAN. You want to find out more on page 5. President Tinubu breaks fast with governors. Okay. Behind bars for years, 53,790 held in prisons without trial. This is really sad. And I don't know who brings this up. Sometimes you have lawyers do pro bonos for this case.
Right.
But I mean, if a lawyer is not touched, somehow you just end up in prison for reasons you don't know. There are some riders to that, and you find details on page 14. Tinubu vows to establish state police to curb insecurity. Details on page 35. 19 more Nigerians face deportation from U.S. as lists grows to 113. Okay, details on page 6. Those are your headlines for the Vanguard newspaper. You want to find out more by getting yourself a copy. Now we go to the Nation newspaper.
All right, thank you, Priscilla. From the top right corner with a picture of Ondo State Governor, it says BRT fair to go by 13%. That's a legal story. Ondo government seals deep ports, $4 billion fertilizer plant deals on page 7. El-Rufai sues ICPC for $1 billion. That's pretty much a syndicated story this morning. Executive order on oil, gas remittances into Federation accounts lawful on page 3. Release of 7.2 trillion naira capital component of budget 2025 begins. Wike voids 485 Abuja land titles following failed verification on page 4. 6 injured. Flights diverted as fire guts MMIA terminal. We understand no life was lost, and that's some good news. All right, the Star headline tells us state police can't wait. Tinubu tells governors. I think the president has now taken this upon himself. Before now, it had been a conversation amongst the governors of the Nigerian Governors Forum. Basically not even the NGF, it was the National Economic Council, where the chairman is the vice president. At some point, just like Priscilla noted, we seemed to have stopped pumping gas in this regard. We took our leg off the pedal, and now the president says we will have to continue to not only have this conversation, but he says it's a legacy he wants to leave behind. There is a rider to it. It says President urges spread of development at IFTA. We understand he broke fast yesterday with governors, right? Then lastly, we have one headline on the foot of the front page of the Nation newspaper. APC inaugurates think tank. And then another one says suspicious price movements raise the alarm as at stock markets on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Please read up details of the other headlines for yourself today as we turn to the Daily Sun newspaper.
Okay, so on the Daily Sun newspaper, besides the nameplates there, we have Nigeria out of woods, and that is coming from our dear President Tinubu. Assures on state police to tackle insecurity. Details on page 26. Home invasion. El-Rufai files 1 billion naira suits against ICPC, IGP, others. Okay, it's going to be an interesting one. Tension in judiciary as NJC probes judges. Petitions, flawed commission against judges. You want to find out more on page 5. APC bear groups from buying presidential nomination form for Tinubu. Bars, okay, bars. APC bars groups. At this point, do they still need to sell a form?
You're saying it's a one-way traffic now, right?
I mean, if we had some PDP sabotages, maybe they would have decided to get the form to contest. Okay, there's a writer to that, and it says parties appeal panel gives Enugu Congress clean bill of health. Okay, you want to find out more on page 6. Sit at home. Soludo shuts down another market for 7 days, basically because they refused to open on Monday.
Because that was what did the main market as well.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, so they are still trying to get used to it. You know, it's not easy.
It's culture shock.
It's culture shock indeed.
Right.
You want to find out more details about that story on page 29. 6 injured as fire breaks out at MMA International Wing, Lagos. British Airways, Emirates, Lufthansa divert flights, and that detail is on page 25. Honesty comes at high cost in Nigerian public service, and that's coming from ex-governor Dixon. Details on page 6. I don't know if you think that's, what do you think about that? Honesty coming at a high cost.
You know, I read something about him yesterday. Apparently, this is in reference to the same issue, where he was saying that, I'm paraphrasing now, being tough in Nigeria being honest in Nigeria is tough. He's not the first politician I would hear say that. I'd heard a former speaker of a state house of assembly say that. I'd heard a leader of a state house of assembly say that. These were guys who lived abroad. So they said they genuinely wanted to come make a difference when they came home, but the system swallowed them. I don't know if they've been able to survive. Yeah, but the system did swallow them. You see, it's pretty much like everybody going a certain direction. All of a sudden, you turn around and say you want to go in the opposite direction.
And you have to be a team player in the midst of all of that.
Yeah, so who are going to be members of your team?
Exactly.
When you pretty much like a misfits, like Bruce Willis, last man standing, that sort of thing. So it's quite an interesting situation to deal with. And that's why I personally believe that we should hold in high esteem and where and when possible, protect people who have shown very sterling example of being honest, not in principle, but in practice. I mean, they have that track record. You know, somebody once said, so I was a young boy growing up, there was this man in our neighborhood who was riding a bike. He was a principal inspector of police. I don't know what that means, but I know that's not an entry-level position, apparently. And then, so somebody comes around and he sees the man, he looks at his rank because he was uniformed that morning. He says, this must be a high-ranking police officer. I said, well, I don't know, but I know he's an Oga in the police. So over time, I got to know he was a principal inspector, all right? This guy who had noticed this man said, this man must be an honest policeman to be riding a motorcycle. I can't forget, it was Suzuki 100. Right now, we have shown that we have a culture, very pathetically, of not holding such people in high esteem because they don't drive all of the flashy cars. They don't live in the big houses in Maitama, in Asokoro, somewhere on Banana Island, and things like that. You see, and the irony of it all, which is very perplexing, is that we turn around and say that we want honest people. Somebody is looking for someone to head their business, for example. They say, please, can you recommend someone who is honest? Yet, when people are honest, we do not appreciate or even highlight that value, right? So we've got to be clear what we want.
What we want. Well, the irony of it is that someday, somehow, consistency would always pay, right? People might not appreciate you, but one day, just one day, someone might just look for that thing. And they might not be able to find any other person, and they'll come for you.
So that's what will distinguish you?
That's what will distinguish you. So just hold on. Do not even try to follow the crowd. Just hold on to that thing you believe in. I mean, be hardworking by all means. You don't have to be wretched because you are honest.
You have to. You don't have to cut corners.
You don't have to cut corners at the same time. So be hardworking as much as you can. Upgrade yourself as much as you can, but stick to your values because one day they'll pay off.
Sure. All right, so, well, I think we need to move on with the papers.
Those are the headlines for the Daily Sun. We go now to the Guardian newspaper.
All right, the Guardian seems a bit loaded this morning. Top right corner first with a picture of Ekiti State Governor Oyebamiji. It says, Peace Committee weary of vote buying, violence in Ekiti polls. On page 5, I should say, news page 5, that's where you find that story. Executive Order 9 enforces existing constitutional provisions, says federal government. Flights diverted. Lagos airspace temporarily shuts over MMIA terminal. Inferno. Again, that's a reference to the Inferno that has been reported at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Nigeria's commercial city, Lagos. Star headline, election campaigns pending to stress test Central Bank of Nigeria's Naira inflation grip, on page 6. What's more, amnesty demands end to killings, accountability as death toll rises. Read up details on page 30. A futility of building $1 trillion GDP on hustle economy. That's quite interesting. Incidentally, it's an editorial put together by the editorial board of the Guardian newspaper. So if you miss anything else, I would recommend you read page 12, where you have that piece. Agbakoba Lord Tinubu's executive order says it will aid fiscal sovereignty. 40% lack access to indigenous language education globally. That headline has got a picture of the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa. Find those details on page 5. U.S. Treasury official in Abuja as federal government sources bicker over ransom payments. A seat at home, Soludo shuts another market in Inewi. All right, Enugu fixes 150 million naira mandatory advert permit for 2026-2027 elections. So what will the underdogs do? By that I mean the, if you like, as we say in the music industry, upcoming political parties, those who don't have much of a foothold just yet, don't have deep pockets, can't boast of so much of resources. If you see,
work with what you have. They're not saying you cannot use what you have. Okay,
so but you cannot obtain advert permits for 2026-2027.
Well, you have to. You can do the little.
So there are cheaper, more affordable alternatives.
Yeah, you just work with go from street to street, from
right.
door to door.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, and advertise yourself.
You don't need a permit for that.
Advert is advert.
Just put the word out.
Put the word out.
Well, it turns out those are your headlines from the Guardian newspaper this morning. As always, we encourage you to look up details for yourself. Next port of call is the Nigerian News Direct. Okay,
of the Nigerian News Direct, we're having the first story as CBN intervenes with $190 million purchase to stabilize Naira gains. I can't really, we'll need an economist to help us understand why you have to use dollar to stabilize your Naira. I'm sure they can make sense of it.
Maybe we're now talking macroeconomics.
Yeah, macroeconomics indeed.
Right.
REA signs MOU with ECOWAS to electrify 15 public institutions. You want to find out details on page 2. To the Star story, Budget Office Defense Executive Order 9 dismisses claims of legislative overreach. Details on page 4. Fire outbreak disrupts operations at Murtala Muhammad International Airport. Details on page 2. Wike approves cancellation of 485 FCT land titles. I just wonder and imagine the states at which the owners of this land will be in at this point, because I mean it looks
quite a number of them.
485. 485. That's a whole lot.
And I can almost, over the top of my head, bet that a good number of them, perhaps over half of them, are commercial, maybe estates.
Exactly.
Right.
So this is people, or these are people losing money.
But we're also asking ourselves, on what basis was the revocation done? Before that, on what basis did they acquire or obtain those the paperwork? Because the irony, I mean, in 2023, for example, I had the chance to follow through with many of these stories around land grabbing, unapproved developments. The plot itself may not have issues, no encumbrances of any kind, legal, administrative, regulatory, whatever. I mean, you're fine on that front. However, the structure itself, the FCDA comes and says it's not approved. We don't have any issue with you over the land, I mean the plot, but this structure was not approved.
So what do you do to compensate such persons?
And then before we even jump right to compensation, Priscilla, I'm asking myself, did you obtain genuine approval from the relevant authorities or regulatory agency for that structure? If that checks out, it means you're due for, I mean, you're eligible for compensation. Because if I need, for example, to set up a TV station, the license I must have to do that by all means must come from the National Broadcasting Commission.
Yeah.
So if I get the license, before which I must have met all the requirements, and I set up a radio or TV station as the case may be, and then tomorrow the embassy shows up and says, no, we are going to stop you, we're going to revoke your license, when I have not committed any infraction based on the broadcasting codes of Nigeria as it stands today, and then
I'm asking, before
the regulator will be in for a long thing.
Can't we have agencies that even regulate these things? For example, with the example you've just given, before an embassy gives you a license, there are questions that should be asked. I know it might not be their business, per se, but we need to start asking, we need to give these authorities questions to also ask. There needs to be some kind of synergy with the FCDA and every relevant agency or authority in Abuja. They should ask you, are you using your land for this? I mean, because it's getting to that point now. I am given a land, I have gotten some kind of permit from some authorities, and then the FCDA comes and says, this one, we do not have access, or we are not aware. And I have gone through...
It's unapproved.
I've gone through...
Therefore, we're going to revoke.
Exactly, and I've gone through authority A, authority B, and they say it's okay.
And these are rigorous processes.
Rigorous processes. So why didn't the FCDA go through the authorities I have gone through to confirm with them? Why do they just come to me and say, because you have not come to us, do you understand? So
well, why did you go to them?
Exactly. So there needs to be some kind of synergy between all these authorities. You before coming to me to ask me these questions and even revoking my land in the process. I mean,
I totally agree with that, because in the final analysis, this can, I mean, not only are you losing money, it's also embarrassing. And for foreign investors, it's shocking, because the thinking might be, if you can do this to your own nationals, your own citizens, how much worse would you do to those of us who are only coming here to put our money?
But the irony is, they don't even do so much to them. Somehow, the whole effect is Nigerians.
Incidentally, right?
Incidentally, that's what happens. Okay, so that is it on the... Okay, we're still on the news direct.
Nigerian Direct. That's the news direct.
News direct. Okay, so let's go to the next story on that paper, and that will be the Star story. Budget Office demands executive order 9 dismisses claims of legislative overreach. Okay, we've gone past that. Lagos Assembly intervenes to end 78-day health workers strike. Are you serious? Are you serious? We still have a strike in Lagos?
Right.
Interesting. That detail is on page 13. Ayedatiwa signs multi-billion naira deal on fertilizer plant, deep sea port. Details on page 3. Okay, so those are your headlines for the Nigerian News Direct.
All right.
Independent.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Our penultimate paper. Top left corner, the Daily Independent. It says El-Rufai files 1 billion naira suit against ICPC. Others over residence invasion. That's what it calls it, invasion. Chaos at Lagos Airport as fire halts flights, thousands stranded, 6 persons injured. 2027 election, opposition parties consider collaboration to battle APC. Do they have the framework for that? Do they have the time? Do they have the resources? Tax overhaul creating predictable business environment, or Yedele. Restrictions, Nigerian students with valid F1, J1 visas excluded. That's according to the United States authorities. FCT Council poll, ADC candidate rejects results, alleges rigging. Page 6 is where those details await you. Wike revokes 485 Abuja land titles over failed verification. APC unveils institutes to shape Nigeria's political direction. Insecurity, Tinubu assures on creation of state police. 6.2 trillion naira debt, Gencos, that's generation companies, warn of power sector collapse. Sit at home, Anambra government shuts auto spare parts markets. And you know, Inewi and auto spare parts markets, I mean, those details are on page 6. That will be if you pick up a copy of the Daily Independent today. Our last paper is the Daily Trust.
Okay, so we can still take one more. On the Daily Trust, first story below the nameplate, it says,
How FCT polls spiked APC opposition rivalry. Details on page 11. El-Rufai sues ICPC demands 1 billion naira over search on residents. Details on page 6, I beg your pardon. Shift in election day, setback for INEC. Mohammed Haruna. Details on page 10. Walida, coalition demands release probe. That detail is right there on page 3 and 4. Reprisals escalate killings in Plateau. 9 die in Niger-Lagos road crashes. Fire raises Yobe market. 5 terrorists killed in Kebbi. Those are your headlines for the Daily Trust newspaper.
I would hope you take out time to read up all of these news for yourself. We live in an age where fake news is rampant and becoming more, if you like, commonplace. So for you to stay ahead, read from authoritative and very reputable sources, and that's why Global Television takes time to curate these papers for you and just present to you the headlines exactly as published by their respective publishers without us making any contribution to the headlines or their details. And that's how we wrap it up here on Newspaper Review this morning here on Global Television. We're taking a break. When we return, Ogochukwu Mombono will be here with Social Pass. Up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Great to have you with us. Have you stepped outside early in the morning lately? If you have, you probably noticed the chill across the northern Nigeria, especially late at night and in the early hours. That cold feel isn't just your imagination, it's likely due to the Harmattan dust haze currently dominating the region. And here's something to think about. What happens when more dust move in? Well, the satellite imagery shows a fresh surge of dust heading into the country. And as we move into Tuesday, when this new dust combined with what's already in the atmosphere, we're expecting even thicker haze and further reduction in visibility. If you are in the northeast, including residents of Kano, Katsina, and Dutse, expect visibility to drop to 1,000 meters or even less. That means shorter sight distance on the roads and at airports. Other parts of the northwest, including the central cities, will experience moderate dust haze. Now, what about the southern cities? Expect hazy conditions with patches of cloud cover. There is also a slim chance of thunderstorms later in the day over parts of Ogun, Ondo, Lagos, Bayelsa, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and River State. So you may want to keep an umbrella nearby just in case. So if you're flying or operating flights in the northern region, be sure to consult the NIMET eFlight Folder portal for the latest updates. And if you're sensitive to dust, don't forget your nose masks before stepping out. I am Akani Samarda, and thank you for watching.
social media speaks, we'll listen and we'll bring you the extra. It's your one-stop show for trends, and the tea everyone sips. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get the extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global Television.
Good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, viewers around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues making round on social media. And today we're looking at insecurity in the country. So Bandit has released video of 2 kidnapped young women begging for freedom. Very sad. Bandits have released a disturbing video showing 2 young women abducted over a month ago while traveling to Sokoto State. The victims, who appeared visibly traumatized, exhausted, and unkempt, were seen in the footage crying and pleading with the public and authorities to secure their freedom. A teacher, Mrs. Aisha Al-Mustafa, who posted the video on X, identified one of the young women as Miriam and her friend. According to Al-Mustafa, one of the women was abducted while traveling from Zamfara State to Sokoto State to resume school. In the video, 2 women repeatedly cried out, "Please help us out." At one point in the footage, one of the armed men speaking in Hausa were heard taunting the captives, asking them why they could not speak louder to describe their situation. The bandit's voice could be heard in the background as he appeared to coerce the women into addressing the camera. Mrs. Al-Mustafa lamented the prolonged captivity of her friend. "My friend Miriam," as she says, has been in captivity for the past 1 month. Her only sin was traveling to go to school from Zamfara to Sokoto. It really pains me how banditry has been normalized and human beings are being prized like animals. That's how she ends her message. That's from Mrs. Al-Mustafa. Well, let's take a look at this video. Well, that's a sad one there. I looked at this footage again. I watched it over and over again. And, you know, when I heard the voice of one of the armed men saying, you know, he was speaking in Hausa and he said, "Speak out loud. Can't you talk? Can't you talk? Speak out and let people hear you." It's more like, you know, it's now a normal thing. This is a means of, to them, it's a legal means of making money. We just have to hold somebody, and when you cry and people hear you cry, they'll definitely do something, release money, and then we'll release you. That's if you're lucky enough. That's what it means. And it still pains me so hard because, you know, I ask myself, is there even security in the country? In as much as people, every day we get to hear that they are fighting insecurity, but I don't think they are doing so much. Just this morning, I listened on the radio when I was coming to work, and, you know, I heard the president's speech saying how, you know, the security situation in the country is better compared to, you know, some time ago. And then this footage making rounds on social media, it's questionable. Well, let's take a look at some comments on social media. And the first comment we have here is coming from Esther Nonyerem George. And Esther says, "The Northerners should hold their governor responsible because they can't deny not knowing what is going on in their state." Thank you so much, Esther Nonyerem. And the next comment is coming from Owen Williams, NG. And Owen says, "Imagine women in the middle of nowhere with men like that. God have mercy. May we not witness Nigeria in this form, in this way." All right. Thank you so much, Owen. The third comment we have is from Honorable Anelka. And Anelka says, "People who have done nothing wrong, who have not offended anyone in any way, are simply going about their lives peacefully. They owe no one anything and are completely innocent. Yet some heartless individuals adopted and demand ransom for their release. How did we get to this point? Has humanity lost all sense of compassion. You can't even treat animals this way by taking away their freedom. Thank you, Honorable Anelka, for your contribution and for everyone who has contributed to this topic via your comments. All right, I'm not alone today in the studio. I have with me Uyi Agbomofuebe. Good morning, Uyi.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. Hopefully it's a good morning. I haven't heard.
It should be a good morning, but I'm a bit sad.
This sort of story.
Yes. So when I saw this yesterday, I was going through stories, and the first thing that came to my mind is, are we really safe in this country? These are two ladies in the middle of nowhere. You could see that that's like should I say it's a forest, because there were no buildings, no houses, and then you're hearing someone's voice, and I'm sure that person is with arms, and he's not the only person there. Definitely, right. He must have had maybe his accomplice definitely with him right now, and it's sad. It's sad. My heart is bitter right now concerning this video. What do you think?
Oh, okay, so beyond the story, because take it or leave it, this story that you just highlighted, it's a reminder, a very grim reminder of where we are with insecurity in this country, the impact it has had, and how it continues to shape, for all the wrong reasons, our realities in this country, whether you live in the north or you live in the south. You see, we have seen several videos like this. We're seeing experts, medical doctors, we're seeing lawyers, we're seeing students, undergraduates, secondary, primary school pupils. We're seeing families comprising fathers, mothers, and children, even extended family members who have been kidnapped. We're seeing videos of them, such videos that are heart-wrenching, begging for their lives, begging to be released. Sometimes they are beaten. And like somebody said, one of those comments that you read out, how do you explain that women like these, as vulnerable as they are under this circumstance, are left in the middle of nowhere with these people I would call ungodly criminal elements? Exactly. So what happens now? That's the question. What happens now? They've cried, they've pleaded, they're in a desperate place. What happens now? Who knows where they are? I just hope we're not normalizing this, because we see these videos everywhere, whether it's on TikTok, on Facebook, or wherever. And while we're discussing the whole issue around the Electoral Act, and somebody said, on the one hand, we're saying we do not have the technology, we do not have the internet penetration or availability to transmit results online real time. But bandits have the internet access to show us their faces. And somebody also said that before now, Boko Haram will wrap up their faces with all, with stuff, clothes and masks and what have you. But today, they become some sort of celebrities on social media. They show you their faces, brandishing guns and sophisticated weapons.
And even money.
Exactly. So they're not behaving like the typical rap stars who show off affluence and wealth and what have you. Again, like I said, I hope we are not normalizing this. I would like to, maybe like most Nigerians, home and abroad, find some solace in what the president has now vowed that he must do going forward, which is the establishment of state police.
State police, yes.
Will state police become the magic ones that will solve this problem once and for all? I'm not sure. In fact, I'll be lying to myself if I say a yes to that question. However, it could become a mechanism through which we can identify and nip some of these neighborhood crimes, all of these issues. Because whether you like it or not, these people are somewhere in Nigeria now, and they are doing all of this. Yet, we are not able to identify where they are. We are not able to find them. But if somebody were to just misspell the president's name now, they'll find you immediately. So it raises concerns as to, are we deliberately doing this? Why are we failing? Where is the broken link? What are we missing? What are we not doing? And what are we doing wrong?
Who are we to hold responsible?
Exactly, at this point, because you can't have a situation. It's like in the private sector where I come from, for example, once there is a project, tasks are assigned to individuals and teams. So if there's a gap somewhere that will adversely impact outcomes, we know who to hold accountable. So we don't have to be ambiguous about that. In the case of Nigeria, is either we are pushing for service chiefs to be changed, or the president is giving commands to the service chiefs to go after. And I'm wondering, do we have to give commands? Is the mandate not clear from the get-go? Are we not clear about the rules of engagement? It's all a potpourri of many issues we're dealing with at this point in time. And on a final note, what makes it even sad is that we have all it takes to deal with this issue. The question of why we are still stuck in the woods at this point, remains unanswered.
All right, thank you so much, Oye. I really feel very bad that we keep talking about insecurity at this point, even after the manifestos of the president, when he came in and he said, he's going to combat terrorism, and we keep talking about it every day. Well, this is where we draw the curtains for today on Social Buzz. On Global Morning, I'll be leaving you in the hands of Oye and Priscilla as they usher us into the discussion session of Global Morning. So stay with us. Good morning once again, Nigeria and viewers around the world. I am Ogochkumobno. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we'll listen and we'll bring you the extra. It's your one-stop show for trends, and the tea everyone sips. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get the extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk. Only on Global Television.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
New Imo is on the rise. In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodinma's leadership has left the pages of manifestos to become real actions and achievements. Transformations that piece by piece feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace to thrive, and in Imo, we are not leaving it to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are always watching, protecting dreams and opportunities. If you go to the quiet shore of Orashi Power, you will see the awakening of a hydropower roaring to electrify and energize a blossoming economy. The change is visible. The heartland of the East is under construction as new roads are threading together once forgotten places. Industry is humming again and communities are alive. At the center of it all, a digital revolution is rising. A new ministry with a new mission. not just cables and codes, but capacity. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build a digital future. And as Orashi power goes up, so does Imo, lifting with it the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Many thanks for staying with us here, everyone. We would like to say a big thank you to you. Let's get to our first conversation on the road for you this morning. We have been told time and again that the task of nation building is a collective one that cannot be left alone in the hands of politicians, whether in Abuja or anywhere else. And over time, quite frankly, since 1999, I was seeing politicians or seeing individuals, including civil society organizations and pressure groups, continue to play their parts to ensure that this democracy, which started as part of the Fourth Republic in 1999, is sustained and continue to get strengthened, especially at an institutional level. Again, we've seen evolution in the showbiz world. I mean, talking about entertainment, where music and other forms of arts have been leveraged to ensure that we continue to conscientize ourselves regarding our role within the civic space. We have with us this morning one Nigerian, a very distinguished one, who has used his career of several decades to help push these frontiers in ways that are remarkably impressive. It's a pleasure to have Zaki Aze, veteran hip-hop artist, with us here on the show this morning. Zaki, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right.
I'm particularly excited.
You had to do that.
Very important. The touches.
Yeah, sure. So that's your signature, isn't it? It's not your complete, right?
Yes.
I can imagine. Thank you for coming on the program. We are very delighted. I mean, you are a human rights ambassador for the Nigerian, National Human Rights Commission.
Yes.
Talk to us about, first of all, what makes that role very dear to your heart?
Well, I've always been that, even before the National Human Rights. I remember when I was much younger, when I was just starting, before even, or around my first beginning, there used to be, may he so rest in Professor Ramson Kuti.
Right.
If you remember, at Antony there, we had this human rights office.
In Lagos.
In Lagos, you know, in those days. Even before I became famous.
Right.
So I've always been part of the Aluta Continua and all that. And then at a point, the National Human Rights gave me that title as me and I wish I forgot. We're about 3. I can't remember the names.
This was in the 90s, I guess.
No, it did not quite long. It's not long ago.
Wow.
This is like let's say 4 or 5 years ago. Also. We're about 2 Nollywood celebrities plus me as National Human Rights Ambassadors.
Right.
You know, we get to intervene. Like sometimes people call our numbers. You know, we are easily
accessible.
You can easily accessible. You know that once you know that this person is a human rights ambassador, you can call, lay complaints. We will know the right people to talk to in the National Human Rights Commission, so they will take it from there. You know, issues of maybe wife battering, you know, any human right violation. You know, so that's how we intervene as ambassadors. And then we also talk about it in our events, in our shows, on TV, especially on my TV program, True Nigerians.
You have a TV program, True Nigerians?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
apart from singing.
So basically, you have been in the forefront of this human rights, I call it activism.
Yes.
And we have, in time past, also seen celebrities come out to, you know, lend their voices to, you know, the ills, the happenings in the society. I want to channel, buttress a bit on the governance Nigeria. We just came out from the elections of the FCT. You saw the happenings. Do you want to lend a voice? The whole electoral reform, everything, the cry and the heart cry of Nigerians towards better democracy and all of that. What would you say about it, and how have you lended your voice even from your end?
The only thing I can say, it's the only way you can fight bad governance or bad leadership in any country is participation. So if you choose not to participate, not to come out and vote, that's the only time you have power. So that's all I have to say on that.
Right. I'd like to ask you about some of the protests that we have seen in our contemporary times. Perhaps one that readily comes to mind is the NSAS protests of 2020. And then, of course, by 2024, we also had another one, End Bad Governance protest. But the big one, the very pivotal one that shook the country for whatever reason was the NSAS protests. When you look at those events now, I mean, with the benefit of hindsight, what would you say it has changed? And what would you also say those who protested at that time missed? In terms of, because first they say it was amorphous, there was no structured leadership, and all of that.
I think what they missed was not knowing when to stop.
So they overstepped their bounds.
Yeah, it was overtaken by hoodlums. Understand? It was hijacked. Let me put it that way.
Right.
But I'm sure that the proper organizers, understand, wouldn't have committed the crimes that were related to NSAS.
Right.
But at the same time, not knowing when to stop is the major problem, because we lost at the end of the day. It's like you are given an opportunity to say, okay, we have had you. Okay, let's talk. You are refusing to talk. Now, maybe you even added 2 more. If you remember what happened, or 3 more. They said, okay, we have still agreed. Come let's discuss and know how to continue. But you know, I know.
Could there be a touch of Nigerians being very emotional or not even being logical in any way? Because, like you said, they had gone out, they had lended their voice, and there was a time to have a conversation. But they didn't know the point to stop and have the conversation. Could it be part of the things that we'll say is wrong with Nigeria's democracy?
No. I think if you ask me, the proper NSAS, the original NSAS, not the hijackers, because there's politics in it too. Because I am aware that some other politicians also have a hand in the hijacking to make it look bad or to use it against their opponents. I think that's basically the major problem we have in this country. Our politicians, our leaders fight dirty. If there's a good thing, maybe from the opponent side or opposition side, they try and look for a way to make it look bad instead of capitalizing on it and continuing. If there's a bad thing from the opposition side, they use the bad, even at the expense of people's life, to make their opponents or oppositions look bad. You know, to the extent of there are so many things I don't want to say on TV, but we've had a lot of rumors why we still have insecurity in Nigeria, which is mostly political. So it's just the same thing that happened with NSAS. NSAS is just a platform that involves the youths and their voices. But this same pattern still plays out within politicians, which is why we are struggling with leadership in Nigeria up till now, and we are not making much progress.
Interesting. Oh, I think I went a bit too far there. Maybe we'll start from the basics. You know, all the while I had thought that you were from the north. Not until I heard recently you were from, you know, Benue State.
No. If you say that, I won't be happy. Are you saying you don't know the meaning of this color?
Well, you're known
There's
for...
only one tribe in the whole world that wears this color.
Absolutely. But,
Proudly
you know,
Proudly
I mean, you're known for Hausa songs, you know, your lyrics and everything.
Hausa is a bigger, if you check the Hausa language, is the second widest in the whole of Africa. So you have a bigger market.
Right.
Okay. Understand? And then Hausa is more or less like lingua franca in the northern part. Almost every northern state has its tribe, but it can speak Hausa.
Right.
So you get to reach more people. Then I also have an advantage, being that my people who are the Tiv people are the fourth largest tribe in Nigeria.
Okay, so you would say that you're choosing Hausa songs and Hausa lyrics is basically a strategy.
Yeah, it's to create more unity, to create more visibility, to reach more people. That's the essence of music, to communicate, especially if it's my kind of songs that passes positive messages. The more people you reach. Yeah, Kaduna State.
Oh, interesting.
It's safe to say that, I mean, we can't blame people who assumed you were from Kaduna State because I think that assumption is widespread. You are going to do a lot of work to have to correct that. But again, it's Nigeria ultimately. But I want to talk to you again about not just your career, but some very interesting events that have, if you like, sort of defined or shaped not just what you do, but perception. In 2023, for example, there was a report that you had accused certain Oluwatosin Oluwole, the one who popularly called Mr. Easy, of stealing your song. And people were wondering, I mean, both of you are generations apart. We can confidently say it's your son in the industry. That wasn't a prank now, was it?
No, it wasn't. If just like you say, generations apart, so especially for people like us who fought the fight, who struggled, laid the foundation for what the music industry is enjoying today, at least we expect some little respect from our younger ones. So even if you are not respecting us, so be it, no problem, we'll stay on our own. But where you go and touch my thing and expect me not to talk, you know. What played out was, you know, I had the song. In fact, I saw it first from a TV station where they were accusing him, you know.
Okay, you didn't know, you had not listened to the song?
No, I had listened to it. I already started talking about it. Then I'd even called my management and everything. And then I saw also on different TV stations. But what actually calmed the situation at the beginning was that he did not deny it. Even on TV, he admitted that, okay, Zaki is someone I respect and he's a legend. I will reach out to him, you know, and all that. So I felt, okay, no problem. And he actually reached out to me. And we spoke. So he said that he apologized. He said so many things, and I said, no problem, I don't have, it's just so painful that, leave the money aside. At least you should have acknowledged my name. It's like my efforts. I mean, I have children. These are intellectual properties.
Yes. You have to pass them on.
Yeah, they have to. Look at Fela's children. They are living lives. It's intellectual property. Intellectual property is forever. You know, you just keep getting, especially in this digital age,
royalties.
Everything has changed. Everything has increased. So, you know, he said so many things. I said, okay, no problem. The deed has been done. that he said, okay, but from the normal thing, which is supposed to be like 35%, no, but I said, look, I'm not, just tell me whatever you think.
You can give.
He said, okay, we will acknowledge you and we'll make a certain percentage, which he mentioned.
Right.
I don't want to make, I said, okay, no problem. So that was the end.
So is he still remitting that percentage?
No. He from that, after that conversation, he stopped speaking my calls.
Wow.
He disappeared.
Wow.
In fact, I felt insulted. But for me, that's what's even annoying.
So is that why you said he disrespected you?
Yeah.
Of course, it was.
So, I don't think I would let that matter rest, especially because of the way he conducted it.
Are you taking legal action?
The disrespect, obviously, I'll have to take legal action at the end. Because, I mean, not picking my calls after our conversation and everything, not saying anything, just blanking out. And, the case is in court.
The case is currently in court.
Yes.
Interesting. So let's talk about the music industry. You just mentioned that you were part of the foundation. You were part of the guys that laid the foundation. But things have evolved.
Yeah.
We have streaming platforms now. We have the music industry going virtually digital. Has there been a struggle from your own end and other older generations that actually laid the foundation, trying to integrate what they had, to what is the reality of today?
That question means you are not current with what I've been doing. I mean, I'm
Gen Z.
No, I'm not Gen Z, but music is something that I feel if I stop, I will die.
Okay.
It's in me. I can't. It's not. We did not start music for money or fame. It's just. It's inbuilt. It's God given. You understand? So it's not something I will ever stop. I've had a lot of songs now. In fact, just yesterday, a song I released. They called me and said, it's 24,000 streams. I was like, wow.
Interesting.
Within a short while, you understand, and all that.
Interesting.
So, in fact, I'm just waiting for one of these artists, Atela, particularly, who won the Idols or who was at the Idols one time. Yes.
So basically,
I'm still doing new songs.
What I'm saying is, most of this older generational, I'm not calling it, but they're more of the analog generation, right? It was quite, they have been cheated in the process of trying to migrate from the analog system into the digital music streaming platforms, trying to familiarize themselves. Sometimes they meet management that, rip them of their monies or, use, wrong accreditations, or what do I call it? People that are part of the project. Sometimes they rip them in the process of trying to integrate their music from the analog system into the digital system which we have today. Has that been a case for you at any point?
Well, what my own case was I always say thank you to MI.
Okay.
MI is the one that opened my eye to digital. In fact, when MI started doing all these digital things, most people didn't even know about digital platforms. He was cashing out, and he spoke about it once, and I now realized that people were using my songs online and cashing out. Some people even go as much as hijack the song and put it as if it's their own.
Exactly.
You understand? So they were just making monies. So immediately he said that, I collected everything, So I would say that the question you have asked now, even Gen Zs have those issues. It all depends on the person you are working with, whether he's a good person or a bad person.
And your knowledge of the whole thing.
And your knowledge of the whole thing. No, knowledge of the whole thing, you learn. I mean, there's nothing there. It's just, you see everything.
Right.
You just check everything. It's like checking how many followers you have on Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
So it's that easy. So if you get the right people, like I'm working with a Now Music now, especially with the digital platform things. Ife Omorigwe, I know you know Ife.
That's someone who has also been in the industry for a
For
long time. Right.
Okay, for instance, Ife is not Gen Z now.
Right.
It's not Gen Z.
He comes from way back.
He comes from way back, but he knows everything digitally and what's that? Analog. There's no analogally. So, and even analog.
Right.
So, it's easy, you understand? The difference is that the artist may not have the time to sit down and learn and be following this thing because it's always on the road. Like, I am always on the road. I'm hardly in, I can't remember being in one place for 1 week for how many years ago, you understand? So, it all has to do with the legend or the I don't know what is our gen again. Is it no, not Gen Alpha or Gen?
Is it Gen? No, definitely not Gen Alpha. But you're definitely not millennial.
No, you are before millennial.
You're before millennial.
Before millennial.
Is it Gen
Yeah,
Y?
I had the song.
No, we'll find out before you leave here.
Okay, no problem. Okay, Gen Legend.
That works.
Okay, that works.
Right.
You know. So you know, before. Even at our time, that's why I mentioned MI. MI is Gen Alpha, at least.
Gen Millennial.
Is it
Millennial?
MI should be millennial.
Gen Alpha is after Gen Z.
MI is from, I think it's from the 80s, right?
Yeah,
in terms of
which
generation, not generation of music, birth generation.
Birth generation.
Yeah, you should be from the 80s.
Okay, birth.
Yeah.
Yes, birth-wise, because that's the basis on which you determine who belongs where.
Generation.
Right.
Aisha is not 70s.
No, it's not 70s.
He's a small boy. Forget that.
And he's not more than 40 something. He's not up to 50.
Aisha is up to 40.
He's not up to 50.
Yeah, but obviously he's not.
Aisha is up to 40.
He should be late 30s.
Married at 40.
I don't think Emma is up to 40.
Am I married at 40?
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Am I married?
There's a lot to talk about Nigerian musicians. But I want us to pivot a little.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up listening to your music, even though I didn't understand some things, I saw the touch. Right? So you did a lot of work starting from the 90s in particular. You sang songs that reached hearts beyond entertainment. And the likes of, God rest his soul, Sam Sultan and yourself, I mean, that generation was beyond amazing.
Yeah.
This was more than 3 decades ago. Now, more than 30 years down the line, times have changed in ways that are radical. How are you connecting with this generation with your music today?
It's very easy. It's very, very easy. Now, before your father was born and your grandfather, there was Coca-Cola. What has changed in Coca-Cola? Just tell me what.
The branding, the bottling.
The bottle.
Yes.
Not the Coke. Not the Coke. So, I feel Gen Z right now, if you ask me. Do you understand?
So you're in Gen Z at heart.
So this is the trick for me. This is what I do, and what I advise everybody to do. If you are in my age or my Gen Legend, all I do is I play the same music, sing the same way, improve your skills, but I've been producing. I produce most of my songs. I produce a lot of people. I had one of the best studios on Allen. Most of these hit songs you hear from those days came from my studio. But the first thing I did when music evolved was stop producing.
Okay.
Now get the Gen Zs to be producing for me. That's easy. That's easy. Just make sure you can sing on their beats.
Right.
That's what's trending. That's what's new. So when something new comes, you just find a way to evolve around it and sing on it. That's all. I don't know. It's even easier for me now.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to produce any song. I just have to call. My producer is maybe 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
Understand?
But he's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job. All the new songs, the Notice, No Grief for Anybody, Chocoli People, all the new songs that have been junking out that are trending everywhere is from the same producer.
Wow. You look Gen Z, by the way. I forgot to mention. So I want to ask most of our Gen legends,
Gen
as
Z
you call
know they
them.
wear kaftan.
And you never see Abuja Gen Zs. Abuja Gen Zs, especially Abuja guys. So most of these Gen legends, as you call them, have always come out in recent times to always say they feel insulted. The Gen Zs, always want to compare them. So you hear things like, sometimes they want to even make a joke or a mockery out of, this legend. They call them, your glory don't finish. Some kind of subtle shades here and there.
Right.
Basically because you feel like, or they feel like they are the ones in vogue. They feel like they are the ones trending right now. They just want to water down whatever it is that has been built before them. What would you really say about this?
Well, it has to do with personalities, It has to do with the person. Most of the time, upbringing of the person, you understand? Look at someone like Davido, for instance, who is on top of the game. You will never hear that from him. And then you see, look at what he did with Bright Chimezie, for instance.
Yeah.
Now, that's exactly what Mr. Easy was supposed to do.
Right.
Understand? He did the right thing. Used his song. If I even featured him on his video, acknowledged him. Everything was fantastic. Now, I hear sometimes some people make comments like on my social media, or maybe Facebook or Instagram. You see comments like, "This man no one retire. Go retire now." You understand? Leave the space for the young ones. You see, what they don't understand is that it's not like telling a pastor that he's old, he should stop preaching. It's a calling.
And you do till the very last day.
Especially for someone like me, that my music always has traditional background. Traditional music. Mama Shatta died singing. Fela, at what age? He was old, he was still singing. King Sunny Ade is still singing. Sunny Ade, I don't know how many years. Sunny Ade, I was a kid when Sunny Ade was singing in performing and touring the whole world. He's still singing. He's still more active than me. And what would you say for those kind of people? You want him to go and resign? He can't. Ebenezer Obey is in the wheelchair now. He's still singing. So I really don't understand.
Has this at any point ever discouraged you? Maybe the comments, social media can be a crazy place.
No, it cannot discourage me, because you see, it's even good. Understand, when people are entitled to their opinions, one, and apart from that, you sometimes look at the person who is making the comments. I mean, how is his IQ? Is he exposed? Is he enlightened?
Does he understand the issues?
Does he understand the issues? So how would you want to take those kind of things seriously? Why would I let that affect me? I don't even see it most of the time. Just that once in a while you see it. But the positive ones are like 1 million.
No, the negative.
So he's just one voice, one drop in an ocean, amongst thousands of voices that are saying, "Wow, fantastic, well done." This one, There was a time I paused for a while. All the kind of comments I was getting at the airport, everywhere. No, why you? Please come back. Please sing. You understand? So we have our fans.
Oh, great.
They are diehard fans.
And then for the current generation, the Gen Zs, what would you look at now in the industry and see and say, it's not going, or it's not going as it should go? They are missing in a way. What's that thing that you look at and want to correct?
I'm finding it difficult to answer that question because I'm very impressed with the Gen Zs.
Oh, great.
I'm so impressed.
Wow.
I never even knew that I would be alive to see how Nigerian music will transform. So I'm happy with what their sound. They are creative. And what people don't understand about these Gen Zs, you think they just wake up one morning and go and mix anything. No. They work harder than we worked before.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you say so?
I see them, I work with them.
Wow.
Sometimes, I remember even from the days of MI, we used to be neighbors. Sometimes he will be sitting on his console for days. Like 2 days, 3 days, working, you know.
On a project.
On a project. It takes a lot to bring out a song. Most people, you don't just, it takes a lot. You understand? So I'm really impressed. You see, but when we were coming up, fortunately and unfortunately, media houses like you don't patronize us. At that time, if you remember, the media houses were 95% Western music, only 5% Nigerian music. So Nigerian music was struggling. It was just some reggae here and there.
A bit of high life.
Raga, a bit of high life, you know, juju music and all. But it was dominated by the Michael Jacksons, the Curtis Blow, the, you know, and all that. So we kept pushing it. We kept, you know, pushing them. The change actually came when Nigerians finally embraced Nigerian music. As soon as Nigerians started accepting Nigerian music massively, Nigerian music now took over Africa, now taking over the world.
Well, Afrobeat has been a sound, and like you say, Nigerian music has taken over the world. But where do you see it in the coming years, and how would you even assess it? I know you have some positive review as to where we are right now internationally. We saw the likes of Davido, you know, nominated for the Grammys, Burna Boy, and I was tempted to ask you a Davido or Wizkid, which
All
one?
of them.
The popular question.
All
but
of
then,
them.
how would you assess our music, Nigerian entertainment industry? Well, the government itself, do you think they are supporting enough?
No. The government is actually, in fact, I laugh at them. If only they know how much they are missing in the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is the only industry that is capable of providing employment for all Nigerian youths.
Wow.
If the structures are right.
If the structures are right.
Yes. That's where the government come in. Now, the entertainment industry have been able to achieve what it achieved without government support. What do you think? This is without government support. Everything they have achieved. Now you can... There was a time during Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala that we did some analysis and discovered that the entertainment industry can actually contribute more to the Nigerian GDP more than oil. There are countries that depend on the entertainment industry for their GDP. And look at Nigeria. Look at our population. Look at just look at how many people one musician can employ. For one song to come out, everybody in Nigeria is employed. From the policeman who provides security, to the carpenter who is building sets, to the painter who will come and paint the sets, to the director, to the dancers, to the fashion designer, to the cab driver. Everybody is employed.
The food vendor.
Yes, to the food vendor. Just give me, is he electrician involved? Because building a set is like building a house.
Right.
So everybody is involved just to produce one musician, one song. So you can see the chain of employment that one artist. Now look at how many musicians we have in Nigeria. So there's a lot that the government is missing, especially in areas of tax and so many.
The government has put in place tax, so even if they are not really putting so much.
Well,
I know that somehow this tax is going to affect, the digital platforms, because before you're able to get your money from streams and all of that, the tax is something that will be done at that, especially
from source.
From source, especially. So we are not seeing them giving so much, but somehow they are going to be receiving.
Well, they need to do a lot, and for the Nigerian entertainment industry or the artists will not even complain. Government cannot just come and say tax. What are you doing? What structures have you put in place to support the entertainment industry?
Exactly.
Because where they are now, they can do more. They can gain more. Their profits will be maximized if the government have, for instance, the issue of piracy, for instance, you can't do anything now. You know, even during our time, the pirates will tell you you are wasting your time. You arrest them, they come out the next day. So.
Okay, so you recently distanced yourself from PMAN leadership due to internal disputes. What lessons does this hold for the industry, governance, and accountability?
Well, you know, some of us have worked very hard to get to where we are, and we stand for integrity. And you know, what money cannot buy is name. You know, a good name. If, for instance, you are involved in an organization, every organization has a laid out manual, constitution that it should follow. So if the leadership of PMAN is not going by the constitution of PMAN, then there's a problem. And I don't want anything that tomorrow somebody will call Zaki and they are part of this. This is missing, this. I don't want that. Understand? So I just felt that because PMAN is like a charity work. What our involvement is PMAN is to use our goodwill, our fame, and open doors to people to assess corporate organizations, to do things like, you know, one of the biggest awards in this country used to be the PMAN Awards. But now you see it's not even existing anymore and all that. So we wanted to bring all those things back. We wanted to start generating funds to be able to take care of the Nigerian artists, the entertainment industry, the welfare of the Nigerian, especially the upcoming artists. There are a lot of things the Nigerian artists don't know about that we needed to educate them about, especially in terms of intellectual property, you know, how to sign a contract, so many things, you know, that is all in line with PMAN and what PMAN is supposed to be doing, you know. So PMAN is a very good place if you really want to help the entertainment industry. I know helping the entertainment industry will mean helping a lot of Nigerian youths. Everybody wants to do music now because of the way music is booming. So this is even the time to do more PMAN work.
Right.
But unfortunately, the leaders in place are not doing the right thing, and I don't want to be caught in that web.
Permit me to be a little daring about the same PMAN issue. Did you have a personal, if you like, maybe an axe to grind, maybe personal beef with PMAN's former president, Priti Okafor?
No. As a matter of fact, we were friends. We were friends before PMAN. We were friends.
Did anything change in that friendship?
If your friend is not doing the right thing and you advise him and he's not taking to advice, instead of taking to the advice and he is reacting to it negatively in a way that is becoming like fight, I think the best thing is for me to just withdraw and let him carry on.
There have been several talks about so much of internal wrangling, politics of some kind within PMAN over time. I mean, that didn't start today. I'm sure you are even
It's always been like that.
You are even far more familiar with these issues than we are. But my concern really at this point
But that's the reason why we even came in, to stop that.
Right. Has it stopped? Has the
well, we were making a lot. I won't lie to you. No PMAN has made as much progress as we did.
In terms of leadership?
When we came, during that, before the crisis started.
Right.
The crisis actually started out of greed. We have been working. For 11 years, we have been working using our monies. So eventually, money started coming a bit via PMAN's property that IBB gave during his regime. That's where the whole greed and the differences. As we speak now, we have, from what I'm hearing, I heard there's another president, and then there's another president. So there are like three
like factions now.
Thank you.
How did PMAN come about this issue with Olusco Investment Holdings and all of that? It seems money is at the very heart of the crisis within PMAN.
Well, you know, I've left PMAN now, so I don't really know what is going on. I don't...
But you referenced Olusco Holdings in your resignation when you also talked about the former president, but you said you didn't want to dwell on
before the Olusco is a developer who came to develop the PMAN properties, understand, and made some payments, made some premium payment. It wasn't even complete. It wasn't even much at that time. It wasn't complete before this whole beef started. As soon as monies, started coming in.
So you've used your platform to celebrate Nigerian heroes and promote unity through events like True Nigerian Party, right?
True Nigerian's Party,
True
that's
Nigerian's
the
Party
concert.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how can music, going further, how can music and culture contribute to national cohesion and purpose?
Well, music is the fastest way to reorientate the mindset of Nigerians. It's the fastest way. And in fact, anything you want to achieve, any sort of campaign you want to campaign, and that's why most adverts on TV, you can't do without music. You understand? So music is the vehicle in which you use to convey messages quickly. Even if they don't want to hear it, they must hear it because music is nice. So by the time they sing to it once or twice, So I feel that I remember one regime, political regime, I think Goodluck Jonathan, if you remember, music contributed a lot to why he won that election.
Yeah, the first.
So that's to tell
2011.
Yes, that's to tell you the power of music. That's why I wonder why our government at the center is doing, ignoring putting the right structure for the entertainment industry to grow.
Do you think they are not lovers of music? You think our president does not love music still?
I don't think they even have time for music.
They don't have time for music.
They can't even dance.
But again, that probably also raises a question of what are musicians, especially people like yourself, who we can say have been there, done that, doing to also advance ideas or initiatives to them to say, look, this is what we want to do going forward, and this is what we want the government to come in. It could be Ministry of Creative Industry, Ministry of Arts and Culture, or what have you. Are you guys, your set of musicians doing that, for example?
Yeah, we have been trying. That's one of the reasons why we actually joined PMAN. Now you can imagine what is happening in PMAN, for instance. That's very discouraging. Is it not the same? That's the front. That's the structure that is supposed to be liaising or be communicating with the government at the center, even state. That's the face. Understand? That's the proper way to present our case. But when they look at us, that's why they always look at us and look down on us. Because all they have ever known about PMAN is fight. One fraction to the other, I also feel that it was even giving some people who would normally cannot talk to you to even insult you. So those are some of the reasons why I resigned. So you see, the only way I think the government or organizations or government or private organizations even we take the entertainment industry serious, PMAN. They need to fix PMAN. In all this that is going on, given another country, someone from the government in a leadership position would have intervened in what is happening in PMAN. But you see, everybody is quiet. Nobody is saying anything because they look at them as, but that's the mistake. That's a big mistake. What you are looking at can employ the whole Nigerian youths.
And we're not saying that.
They're not seeing it.
Okay, so we're going to look at a few other things. We'll look at the economics of entertainment, because that's a big conversation around the world at the turn of the 21st century. Then we'll also look at politics. For example, all of that will be after we return from the short break. Do stay with us, everyone. All right, so let's begin this last lap. Let's call it the victory lap of this conversation with our dear nation, Nigeria. Since 1999, it has been one conversation after another regarding our democracy, civil rule, and what have you. Just following this last election in Abuja, for example, the well, it's your signature. We're not surprised. All right. One of the things we found out, which is now very established, is that there was low turnout of voters across the 6 area councils of the FCT. When you look at that, I mean, for somebody who is grassroots, I mean, you've been there, you've done that. What would you say are some factors responsible where people would just be reluctant to come out to vote, even when they have PVCs?
Well, I answered this question before on the side of the voters.
Right.
But on the side of the government, I think government should learn to bridge in the gap between them and the people. And then in bridging that gap, the gap too should be friendly in a way they bridge that gap.
Right.
Understand? If you are in government and you don't have a link with the people, well, who are you governing? Who are you leading?
So you say that there's a lot of gulf between government and the people.
There's too much gap. There's too much gap. The people need to be educated with the processes of government. They need to know the process. They need to know the nitty-gritty of being in government and why they have to make certain decisions. You know, you need to explain to the people. Nigeria, majority of Nigerians are not even educated. So you need to explain to them in a way that they will understand why they need to come out and vote.
So you don't think in any way that this is intentional? The lack of education or lack of sensitization is an intentional...
Well, I think the fault will be from the government. They did not probably sensitize the people properly, or in a way sensitization is in two forms. You can do it in a way as if there's penalty to it.
Right.
You can do it in a way that it looks friendly. You understand? And the
stick and carrot approach.
Yeah, you understand? So it depends on how you do it. You can't force anybody to come out of his house.
Right.
And that's what you cannot do. So you must find a way as government to sensitize the people in a way. It's not just sensitization, give money or go and sensitize. At the end of the day, people you are even relying on may just eat the money and not do what you are. You know, sometimes it takes you going there on ground and talking to the people, relating with them, have them ask you questions directly, questions that are insultive to you, but you take it and explain to them. That way they feel like, let me take for instance some of the things I do with my TV program, True Nigerians. When we bring most of those guests we bring on the program, we give them tax. So some have hawked on the streets. These are leaders who have made it. Now, I discovered that when they start talking about their story and how they got here, they talk about when things were tough, you know, how they used to sleep. I remember one governor say he had only one pair of clothes and he used to sleep in the same room with goats. Now someone out there now is relating with it. Why am I trying to make this point? I discovered that after the tax, it kind of draws the masses closer to that guest. Now you are relating with them, because as you are a governor, for them now they are sleeping in that goat house. So anytime they say, okay, this man, so it is in that kind of form that the government at the center is supposed to be relating with people in terms of sensitizing them.
Right.
Try to look for someone they like in that community, someone they believe in, someone that is a role model, and then give him the task of sensitizing, mobilizing, and you know he has integrity. You mobilize, give him a reason why he should vote for you, or they should come out and vote. You know, I'm just saying my own bit, but I think it should be friendly.
Right.
Any type of sensitization must be friendly in a way that the people will come out of their free will and do it.
Talking about sensitization, 2027 is just by the corner. It's elections year, and the Nigerians are known for sentiment around religion, tribe, and all of that. Especially tribe. You are someone that have experienced different cultures. Yeah. Well, I would really love you to lend your voice on that.
Well, all these things are weapons of politicians. That's why when they talk about politics in Nigeria now, everybody's talking about religion, talking about tribe. It's just that the politicians keyed into that to create division, to gain more votes or something. If you go rewind the history of Nigeria, especially like in Kaduna where I was born, there's nothing like religion. Christians, Muslim, different tribes, Yorubas, Igbos, Hausas, everybody's an indigene of Kaduna State. Understand? People live together in peace until when politicians, for the sake of dealing with their oppositions or winning or gaining votes, we start bribing, instigating, injecting a lot of bad energy and bad blood into Nigerians just for their selfish interest. That is why it's now looking as if Nigerian politics is all about, if you ask this person, where is he from? Sometimes, Dangaliwani or you understand? Those things were not existing before, So it's politicians that actually made it look that way. So, but right now, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, Nigerians, even the ones who are not educated, are beginning to see that the politicians are actually using them. So the Muslims, the Christians, the different tribes are beginning to see that no, there's this thing, they are just using it against us. So it's changing.
Really?
It's changing.
So you are saying we're going to see a difference?
Yeah, we're going
choices
to see
in 2027.
2027. About Kaza Gashinta.
Who are you supporting, by the way?
No, I have to have I'm neutral. I'm not. I'm a political.
They're still talking about this sensitization. Nigeria has many issues beyond even elections and democracy. For example, we have issues around. Look at Naira mutilation, for example, which became controversial in recent times. One would have thought at this point in time, on issues like that, issues of continual voters registration for citizens to come out to obtain their PVCs and things like that, I mean, established, grounded musicians like yourself by now would have been working hand in hand with the National Orientation Agency, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and even INEC, for example, to use your art to push these narratives.
You're making me laugh because that would have been the best thing to do. It would have been easy for them. Easy. But, that's what I keep saying about our leaders. They are analog. They don't. That's why you need to communicate with the people. If you communicate more with the people, even if you are a president or a governor, your small Gen Z son or daughter at home can give you an idea. Because you are too busy, you are up there, you are even old school to start with. So you don't know what is going on. But what you have said now is just the perfect thing to do. I don't want to mention names. Look at, you need to know the amount of followers that we have. Fans who believe in us. You now come out and say, okay, you are campaigning for people to come out and vote, or campaigning for Nigerians to reorientate their mindset. In fact, when I have been expecting for a long time that because of what my program is, True Nigerians, Heroes of Our Time, which is all about reorientating the mindset of Nigerians towards patriotism, I've been expecting for years that one day the federal government or the National Orientation Agency will key into it and partner with me or support me. But you see, that's how Nigeria is. That's the problem.
Have you approached them?
Why would a governor? I've had almost all their DGs on my program.
Wow.
So I have.
Right.
Understand? Now, why would a leader or a governor win election and discontinue a project that some other governor has spent billions of our money, discontinue and go and start another one?
Right.
There's no progress. There's no progress. There's this selfish ego. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, but we still need to pray. Apart from prayer, we still need to actually come out and vote and stand and let our votes be counted. And in every polling unit, let the votes be counted and the winner declared instantly before going home.
We've left just going to vote now.
Yes.
So
defending the votes.
Yes.
Defend your votes, because ultimately I think that's what counts.
Yes.
My colleague mentioned something that I think is worthy of note. He talked about introduction of Naira in the entertainment space. I mean, it's one of the things.
Money na water.
Money na water, like they say. So it's showbiz. It's one of what you use for showbiz. How has this really affected the entertainment industry? Because a lot of celebrities have been complaining, we want to spray our money. But was it even necessary in the first place? I mean, and what do you think?
You see, in that aspect, I must tell you, the entertainment industry is the only industry that has only one law. Like I spoke about the organization of PMAN now and their constitutions, there are a lot of rules and regulations. But the rules of entertainment has only one, which is show. If you don't show, there is no business. You have to show before business. That's why it's show business. So if you don't allow them to show, there's no business. So, well, I agree it's not the right thing, but, but that spraying of money, Kai, he had.
So it's an entrenched culture, that's what you're saying.
Well, it's show business. Show business is about showing. It's about showing.
Yeah.
Why do you think we shoot music videos and bring fake dollars in trucks, splash the dollars? That's show. That's about show. That's what show business is about.
I can imagine the CBN authorities running at you watching this program.
No, I think this authorities,
no, but that's
they need to be there need to be a kind of synergy. Before you make some kind of rules, there are supposed to be exceptions, right? And then you consult with different authorities, at the forefront of...
I'm beginning to see a show business now. Maybe you're going to go to a studio with Zach.
My husband is a producer, so I kind of understand these things. And I have entertainer friends, right? So I understand the restriction it really puts on them, right? It just makes them not to do the...
Be able to show.
And business is about making profit. Sometimes if you're not able to show, you will not make your profit.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And speaking of profits now, for example, I know in the 90s you were one of those persons who were crying, like practically crying over the monster of piracy. That was several decades ago. But today all of that has changed. We now have streamlined channels through which
CD is gone.
CD is gone. Alaba market is no longer a big deal in this regard and things like that. So are we in a much better place today?
Yeah, we're in a much better place.
You don't miss Alaba market in any way?
No. No. Although they helped in a way.
The likes of Abu Ventures.
But would I say help? Because
they were part of the value chain. We can't.
They were well, and then it was providing employment for people. It was a means of income for some people.
Effective distribution of your music and things like that. But I'm not sure we are done if I don't ask you this, Zaki. We have seen a lot of your colleagues who have sort of pivoted into politics. Either they were appointed as special advisors, SSA, or what have you. Some of them have now become full-fledged politicians. Would you go into politics at some point?
It depends on the reason why. If I am asked to come and I see that it's going to affect especially a section of the country that I think needs help. Politics is service. It's just like what I did with P-Man. It's like we're using our monies to run it. That's how. It's just that a lot of things are not in order in Nigeria. You know, if not, leadership position or political appointments are not supposed to be attractive. They are supposed to be more of service than gain. But people strive to get it just for personal gains now. Understand? Instead of service. It's an opportunity. It's godly. It's an opportunity for God to bless you even more, because it gives you an opportunity to touch lives positively. Do the right thing, you know. So looking at it in that angle, I would say yes, why not? You know.
So what I want to ask, what advice would you give to young artists about handling social media, public image, and ultimately the pressure of fame?
Social media is not a platform for you to insult and disrespect people. It's a platform for you to communicate and empower other people, advise people, do the right thing, be positive, and don't always be too quick to react to social media. You know, so
interesting.
Do you have plans of still winning the Grammys?
That would be a miracle. I'm happy with the ones that are winning it. I'm happy. If they've won it, I've won it. I mean, this is what we fought for. I know what we suffered to get Nigerian music to be where it is today. So I'm happy. I don't have to win it myself. Everybody cannot be President Tinubu. Nigeria has a population of over 300 and something million.
They say we're over 200 million.
No, I don't think so. We're over 300 million now.
You need to show us your statistics.
We're supposed to have conducted another census. Last year that was
2006, almost 20 years.
Since then, we've not had any. So,
but I want to. You talked about Fela a while ago, and you mentioned him twice in passing. Fela is... Well, I thought you were going to do that. Fela was bullish with his music in terms of how he spoke to social issues. In fact, it would be fair to say Fela was a social critic as far as his music goes.
Human rights ambassador.
But as it goes today, I mean, as it stands today, does the ecosystem, the music ecosystem, allow for that sort of, if you like, approach?
Not really. It's a bit stiff now.
Is it because of the kind of leaders we have? We don't have freedom of speech anymore.
No, I think you don't even need that much. The social media is helping more now. You understand? But it's a little stiff. I heard of a boy that was just arrested for reporting Boko Haram and the Nigerian military. I don't know why he was arrested, but you know,
Idris Abdulkarim's music was banned recently too, basically for
no, I will not support any music that would cause disunity in Nigeria. We need to constantly promote unity, and we need to be careful the kind of messages we put out on social media, even in our music. You know, even if you listen to Fela well, yes, he was fighting for a good cause, but he did not do it in any way that would disunite Nigeria. He was focusing on the target. Understand? But when you say you call Nigeria in your song, you are scattering the whole country. You understand? Fela was targeting people. Understand? People who were doing wrong
and highlighting the issues.
Highlighting the issues. So you have to be careful in the way you pass the message. I think it's the means or the way you put the message that actually makes it.
So messaging is very important.
Yes.
Well, I'm afraid if we want to continue with you, we are going to skew your, just alter your entire schedule for today. But I would like to say a big thank you to you, Zaki Azie, a veteran Nigerian musician, for taking our time to join us today on Global Morning. We can't thank you enough. We also want to say a big thank you to everybody who has watched today. We'll continue our broadcast here on Global Television as well as across our social media platforms, and this interview will be available on YouTube and other of our platforms across social media. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, and my colleague Priscilla Obasi and I, on behalf of the entire team here at Global Television's world headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, we say thank you for watching. We'll now leave you again in the hands of Zaki Azie. He calls this particular song a matter. I hope